Me, A4 Beeblebrox, the British Tech Guru. This is going to be an ATTiny85 writer. There's an ATTiny85. This is an Arduino Nano, and I have mounted the Arduino Nano in headers, female headers, and I'm just going to use a fairly ordinary bit of circuit board and put the, just go there, somewhere there. Oh, it's not going to go through the holes for heck. Anyway, it's going to go there, like that. And this is going to go up here, like that. Well, it would. And the plan, as I said, came from Autodesk Instructables, which is this site. And it's the ATTiny85 programmer using the Arduino Nano. Now I'm going to modify this because I don't have an ATTiny13 or Tiny84 to program, and I can't really imagine that I will. But if I by any chance do get one, I can always build another circuit. That's no big problem. Now the problem I was getting with this circuit, which was the original one, was that it wrote the first time and did it well. Second time, nothing happened. Third time, nothing happened. Fourth time, the chip overheated. Whether the chip is spoiled or not, I don't know. But I've got another 10 on the way from AliExpress. So I'm going to have, and I've got another 4 remaining. I bought 5 Tiny85s because I knew something might happen to one. One might be low quality, something like that. But yeah, the plan is to build the circuit here, but with the Tiny85, the Arduino, 3 LEDs, because these are what this does not have. This does not have a status indicator, and I think a status indicator is very helpful, or should be very helpful. So I'm going to solder these into place on here like that. And you're just going to see how it goes from there. Okay, having soldered these onto there. Oh, I've missed one. I'll get that in a few minutes on my next bit of soldering. Having soldered that on like that, you might think that I won't be able to get anything off. Well, on this, I can just lift the chip out, no problem. But here, I have actually used female headers, so I can lift this Arduino Nano straight off if I want to. The reason I did not use female headers for the ATTiny85 is the pins are too small, and I tried it and it just dropped out of the female header. So I used this ZIF header, and I will have to mark the board for the direction and where, because if you notice there's a tiny little notch at the end of the chip. That means that's the head. So I'm going to have to put a little pictogram or something there, which shows me where the header is, where the top of the chip is, or the alignment. Anyway, I haven't soldered the wires on yet. My next stage will be to program this, because once I have programmed it, I will not then, once this capacitor is in place between reset and ground, I will not then be able to reprogram this unless I unplug it from the header board, which is of course why I gave it a header board, so that I can take this off and reuse it if I want. And it could be that after programming a dozen or so Tiny85s, I don't want to do Tiny85s anymore. And who knows? And the world is a weird place. They might even stop making Tiny85s. So that way, all I've lost is 2 headers and a ZIF socket and a capacitor and some wires. So that's hardly anything worth worrying about. The Arduino Nano, that was about this was a $12 purchase, so I want to save that. That was probably about $6. The headers, well, I bought this pile of headers, this little packet, for, I don't know, $3, $5, something like that, $8. I don't know how much I paid for them. I don't really care. I just buy them and use them. You know, if I need them, I buy them. It's not like I'm poor. Well, not that poor anyway. Well, yeah, okay. I'm poverty-stricken. Yes, I had to walk barefoot in the snow, uphill, both ways, to and from school. Yes, I was really poor. Yes, I still am really poor. Anyway, this is going to replace this setup. So this setup was, you can see it's a little clunky, wires going everywhere. This is going to be a lot neater, and you know, it's going to be something I can throw in a drawer and then forget about, and then come back to, and it'll still work. All the wires will still be in place, the chip will still be in place. I'd like to put this into a nice little box. I don't think there is a nice little box that would fit this. I might have to 3D print one, but yeah. So I'm going to be tidy. I'm going to put the wiring underneath, and I still need to solder that thing. So anyway, next stage of the project will be along in just a second. Okay, I've programmed this, I think. They came up with a couple of errors, so I don't know whether the program has taken or not. If it hasn't, no problem, I can always reprogram it. That's the beauty of putting it in headers rather than soldering it straight to the board. I have got extra components to put on now. I have, I have some LEDs and some resistors, and I have my capacitor. After the capacitor is on, I won't be able to program this on the board, but I will be able to program this. So I'm just going to put that on for the moment, and then I'll get to the wiring later. And rather than show you the tedious bit of me soldering, I'll do it in steps, and you'll see a step at a time. It's boring watching soldering. Well, I've just soldered the 3 LEDs, 3 resistors, and the capacitor in place. So now I can't program this this not AT, it's it does have an AT486 processor, but it's or 480 processor, but it's actually an Arduino Nano Every. I can't program that unless I take it off the board, which is no problem because I've got it in, as I said, header pins. That's why I put it in header pins. I've got to do the wiring next, but the main components are in place now. The blue LED will light apparently to say it's writing. The red LED will light to say there's a problem. The green LED will light to say yes, it's done. So that is good. And that's if the programming on the Arduino Nano Every actually worked. Well, I'll find that out when I do the wiring. Right now I'm being bitten to death by mosquitoes, and this was the only trimming tool I could find to trim the wires. So they're a little bit long. They could be trimmed a bit tidier. I'll have to find my proper trimmer for that. And that's the end of this particular episode. I will return to this in the next episode.